everybody, it's me, Lisa, aka Wolf and Storm, coming at you live with a brand new video. I know, again, it's been a little bit, but again, my job is such that most of the time I come home so exhausted that I don't want to do anything, so usually I have to wait till I find the time. So here we are, brand new video. Before we get started, usual housekeeping rules apply. Please help me keep on keeping on by hitting that like button, slamming that bell, like, subscribe, share right here, because that helps me to keep this channel going. If you don't want to hit me up on YouTube, don't forget I also can be found on Twitter and Patreon. The links to those will be in the description as well, so check those out. Help me keep on keeping on and bringing this nifty, neato, totally awesome sauce content to you. Okay, so on the agenda today, a little bit more David Tennant news about some of his upcoming projects and a review for Out of Time 3 that I had promised y'all guys. I know that Christopher Eccleston has come out with some more box sets for the Ninth Doctor Adventures, but I haven't bought them yet. the newest ones, because I'm in a money crunch at the moment. So when I have a little bit more cash on hand to spend, then I will do my best to order those and get them to you. But before that, I did order Billie Piper's follow-up to her Dimension Canon Chronicles, that first set of 3 that she did last year. This year, she's done a new set of 3, and they're supposed to be coming out in October, I believe. So as soon as those come out, I will have it to you. I will definitely listen to those, and I will have it to you. But for now, let's start with Out of Time Part 3. This is the third part in this 3-part series they've done, hooking up David Tennant's 10th Doctor with different past versions of himself, starting with Out of Time 1, in which he had an adventure with Tom Baker, 4th Doctor. Out of Time 2, in which he had a Cyberman adventure with the 5th Doctor, the father-in-law, Peter Davison. And in this one, we have an adventure with the 6th Doctor, Colin Baker. Now, I have to tell you, I have heard Tom Baker's audios before, and a little bit of Peter Davison's, but I had not heard Colin Baker's audios. The only thing I did know about his audios was that his time in Big Finish doing the 6th Doctor really helped to give the 6th Doctor the attention that he deserved. They made him a much more rounded out and fleshed out character than he ever was on screen, because he kind of got hosed over by JNT during those years that he was on the show, and he really didn't get justice. But Big Finish helped him to really even the character out, to make him more than just the crazy person with the really ridiculous looking outfit that was supposed to be a joke but then somehow became reality. Or as David called it,
Joseph, with your amazing Technicolor dream monstrosity. It looks better under the shadow lamp.
Anyway, so Out of Time Part 3 is an adventure between these 2 doctors, the 10th and the 6th, on a remote planet that is completely bathed in bright white light for like all of the days of the year, except for a few hours during one day of the year, of their year. It is so bright that the inhabitants have evolved to the point where they don't use their eyes to see. They don't even have a concept of what sight is. That particular sense is meaningless to them. It is so bright that you just cannot see whatsoever. So their sight has been replaced with what they call feeling or intuition. They're able to intuit things about people and about the situation around them by feeling, by gut, because that's all they have other than their ears and their touch. They don't have sight. So intuition is a very important sense that they have. In this case, though, it In some ways, it saved their lives, and in others, it's kind of their downfall. Because they have become victim to the weeping angels. This is yet another case of the weeping angels being given a whole host more abilities than I really think they need. Now, before I even start on this review, I need to have you guys understand my idea about the weeping angels, my own personal perspective. I will not say that Blink was a bad episode. I actually thought it was a very good, well done episode. I've always said that Stephen Moffat is a great Doctor Who writer. But being a great writer does not a great showrunner make. But that's another argument for another time. This is one of those cases that he did a very good job. He kept it simple. And it wasn't too out of this world. The reason why the angels were so suspenseful and so scary as they were in Blink was because he kept their horror simple. He kept them simple. You see them, if you blink, they grab you and they toss you back in time to whatever year. Apparently each angel has a different year. And they basically feed off of your potential energy, all the years you would have had that you now don't because you've gone back in time and you're stuck. So you cannot blink. If you blink, they've got you, and that's it. When it was that simple, it was really good. Like, it was suspenseful, and the fear was finding a way out of the situation without disappearing, without them touching you. That would have been plenty enough. But as the years went on, after Moffat took control of the show, when Russell left, he started piling on all this garbage about what the angels could do and giving them more and more powers and abilities and all this blah, blah, blah bullshit. And it just it sort of dumbed them down. It made them less scary and just kind of annoying after a while. It was sad when Amy and Rory were lost. It was very sad. But at the same time, I have an issue with this whole idea that if you go back in time because of the angels, that you cannot be saved. When Sally Sparrow's friend went back in time, she was lost. She integrated herself into society in the 20s and she was okay, but she was lost. Amy and Rory did the same. And the police officer from 2007, who went back to the 60s and met up with the Doctor and Martha there, did the same thing. You see him again in modern day in 2007 at that time, and he's an old man. I understand why he couldn't go back, because he was part of events, and he had to do what he had to do in order to make sure that the Doctor and Martha could get back into the present. But if the Doctor and Martha were able to get the TARDIS and go back to their regular time without any issues, then I do not understand why the Doctor couldn't do the same when he was the 11th Doctor to go back and get Amy and Rory. If there was no issue with the Doctor and Martha coming back from the past, why would there be an issue with Amy and Rory coming back from the valley? I felt like there was a lot of things that Moffat did with the Weeping Angels that made no sense, that made them over complicated. Do I even need to get into the Statue of Liberty being a fucking angel? It just... And that's not even to talk about Chibnall's treatment. Now turning them into the vanguard or hired private army for Tech Tayun and her people. Nonsensical. But anyway, I'm getting off the point here. The story itself was simple. It kind of harkened back to just keeping it simple to make it scary. They were both on the planet together for different reasons. The 10th Doctor had gone there for vacation. the Sixth Doctor, I think, had also gone there before vacation, but he was trying to leave and could not leave. He was stuck. And they were both... so they both went outside to go see what was going on. And they could hear each other talking, but couldn't see each other. Because it's so bright. And it wasn't until... the doctor brought... the Tenant Doctor had some sort of shadow box that he used to create shadows. And he turned it onto the Sixth Doctor so he could see him. He's like, oh, it's you! And wow. Whoa. You know. Yeah, so they were trying to figure out why it was that they were stuck there. Apparently, on this planet, there's this fortress-like building where the angels apparently are guarding it. They're perched on top. No one knows that they're there because, again, the people on this planet have evolved to the fact where sight has no meaning to them whatsoever. They cannot see. So that is really the only reason the angels have not been able to do anything. Because these people can't blink. They can't see. So there is really no point. There's no way for... since these people cannot see the angels properly, there's no reason... there's no way for the angels to do what they do. And it's not till both of the doctors get there and start figuring out what's going on that it becomes kind of a problem. In this story, the angels apparently are able to breed. One angel is able to have children. Okay, I know that the angels, for the most part, are being kept pretty simple. At least back in the past they were. And there was not a lot of development into their background, like where they came from and what was the full breadth and scope of their abilities. I guess that's why Moffat just kept adding more and more bullshit on to the point where, you know, it just started getting fantastically stupid. Now they're saying that the angels can breed. Don't ask me how. I just kind of chose to ignore that part of the story because it seemed kind of dumb. And I focused on the interactions between the two doctors, and I will tell you, of course, as usual, David Tennant is always on point as the 10th Doctor, because, you know, when is he not? It's David. He was great. And Colin was fantastic. He was, I mean, having watched the Sixth Doctor on TV, I was definitely able to tell that he was right at home playing that same wisecracky, you know, I'm better than you type of doctor, and who the hell are you, you young kid? Oh my God, you're embarrassing me. Why would you do this? Blah, 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 blah. You could tell that even though he's the younger of the two, he's treating the younger looking 10th Doctor like he's a child. But then that was kind of Colin's way of portraying the Doctor, that hoity-toity, I'm better than everybody. Of all of the versions, his probably had the biggest ego of the bunch. At least in the television version of him. I know he evolved a lot more in the audios, but the television version of him was egotistical to a fault. And he definitely played that up here. But it worked well because the 10th Doctor doesn't cotton to that shit. So everything with him was just another joke to try to, you know, push his buttons and make him even more mad. And it was just great. Colin and David played off of each other spectacularly well. But then, I mean, it's David. I mean, I don't think he's ever had a scene partner that was disappointing in any way, shape, or form. Like, he's great. It's David. And again, Colin was right at home. He wears the Doctor like a second skin. So it was chef's kiss on point. So basically, the entirety of the adventure is them trying to figure out why and how the angels are there and how to save these people. Because the majority of the people who live on that planet are stuck inside the fortress at the will of the angels. So it's a very tense story, and it reminded me actually a lot of Blink. It kept, other than the whole Angel being able to procreate bit, which I still don't understand. I just chose to ignore that and just went with the meat and potatoes of it. And it was a very tense story, very much in the vein of Blank. And I think that if Moffat had kept his stories like that, where it concerns the angels instead of piling on the powers and to the point where the stuff was just nonsensical and ridiculous and stupid, that it would have come off a lot better. I'm sorry. Once you get to Statue of Liberty being a weeping angel, I'm done. Like, yeah, come on. And that's not even counting the stuff that Chibnall did, the weeping angel in a drawing suddenly coming to life, whatever. Yeah, no. It the visual might have looked cool, but the logic behind it was lacking. Definitely lacking. But that's just me. I'm sure that you guys have various different opinions on what you think of the angels, and I invite you to comment. If you have some sort of logical explanation as to how they can procreate, please, by all means, go ahead. Well, out of 10, I would give this audio probably an 8. A good solid 8. I'm only knocking off points because of the illogical angel stuff. There was some stuff in there that made no sense. It didn't really detract from the story all that much. I was able to kind of ignore it, put it aside. It only hampers it towards the end when all the facts start coming out and the doctors finally figure out how and why this all happened, which is kind of hackneyed just a little. But really, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, seeing David interact with any of the past doctors is a treat. And I do hope that they keep this up. I would love to see him with Sylvester McCoy. Oh my God, Paul McGann. I would love to see him with Paul McGann outside of a fucking book. I mean, I know that he was in Time Lord Victorious, but that was a just very small piece. It was very tiny. It wasn't a full-fledged adventure. It was very small, and it wasn't in an audio, it was in a book. I would give anything to see the 10th Doctor and Paul McGann in audio together. Oh, that'd be awesome sauce. And Christopher Eccleston, that would be great. I can tell you that Christopher, even though he's not going to be in the 60th anniversary itself, he is doing an audio for Big Finish as part of their 60th anniversary celebrations. It's a story specifically for that, in which I think he's supposed to be interacting with the past self. Not sure which one, but a past self. And it might not be one of the actual, known doctors. I think it might be one of the unbound ones. But again, anything with Christopher in it is interesting. I know that he's supposed to be at Emerald City Comic Con coming up here soon. Billy Piper is going to be there as well. David Tennant was supposed to be there, but he had to cancel because of a scheduling issue. Just imagine that. The 9th Doctor, the 10th Doctor, and Rose, all three of them in one place. How rare is that? I mean, yes, it might be easy to expect to see David and Billy, but Christopher Eccleston, that is rare on top of rare. So to be able to have all three of them together, oh my God. So any of you that live on the West Coast, I envy you. I envy you. I envy you. One of these days, I swear, if Billy ever does a convention back east, I am so there. Because I have David Tennant's autograph. All I need is hers. So, again, I don't have the money right now to purchase Chris's new audios for his new 9th Doctor Adventure set. It's a little expensive for me right now, and with the kids going back to school in a few weeks, I have to focus on that. So, hopefully in a little while, I might have a little more money to spend. We'll see. Apart from that, David Tennant news. I know they're still filming little bits and pieces of the 60th anniversary special. I don't know if David's portion is done or not. I can't tell you. I know that Rachel Talale has posted on Twitter that she's still filming portions of the 60th. I don't know if that involves David or not. She's very close-mouthed. Probably because she doesn't want people thinking that Peter Capaldi's there if he's not. They always associate him and her because she directed a lot of his episodes during his 3 years there. So I don't have a whole lot of details. Apart from the stuff we saw in Camden, that's basically the last that we've seen of live shooting. Russell has held it very close to the vest. I get why. Because it's coming close now, within 2 months of the centenary, and I think he's trying to back off some and allow Jodie and Ncuti and Chris their last hurrah, I guess. He's trying not to overshadow that. People have accused him of overshadowing, so I think he's kind of backed off a little bit on the set news to give them their time to shine for that last little episode. And then I'm sure, though, that after that airs, we'll get a lot more stuff. Definitely will. David Tennant news, though. I know for a fact that The Inside Man, that mini-series that David was filming in which he's a vicar, it's supposed to be on Netflix. Now, I know tickets will be sold first or second week of August for a live showing of the first episode in the UK, September 19th. And he will be there as part of a panel to answer questions about the filming and such. But that's just the first episode. I don't know when the official premiere is going to be, but I think it will be later this year, probably after that first episode premiere, and it will definitely be on UK Netflix. So there's that. We got a little bit of news about Lidvanko, which is the miniseries that he filmed about his portraying the life of the Russian man who was stuck in the UK and was poisoned, supposedly. That is supposed to premiere sometime next year. I'm thinking early next year. That filming is already complete. I have not heard anything yet about a staged 3. I think right now David is a little stacked with work because he's also supposed to be doing the play Good this year, as far as I know. This was something that he was supposed to do last year, but was postponed because of, the stuff. And and now they finally managed to find it a slot, and at a point in time where his schedule is free to do so. So that is the extent of the David Tennant news I have so far. His workload is pretty stacked, from what I can tell. I do know that on the BBC they are having a tribute in which David Tennant and Catherine Tate will be there to pay respects, regards, and share memories of their time with Bernard Cribbins on set. Yes, I am saddened to report that Bernard Cribbins, our amazing, lovely, sweet, kind, warm, lovely Wilf, has passed away at the age of 93. I don't know if he was able to film everything they wanted him to film for the 60th. I mean, I would imagine that he probably has. And knowing Russell and how tight-knit of a family they always were, don't be surprised if one of the episodes of that 3 is dedicated to Bernard, for sure. For sure. It only makes sense. I mean, they were very tight. All of them were very close, and David looked upon him as a father figure, and of course, he was well loved by all of the fans. Of all of the companions that the 10th Doctor had, he was one of the best, even though he was only there for a short time. And we all loved him dearly. And he will definitely be missed. Bernard. So, apart from that, yeah, there really isn't too much. As far as David Tennant news, it's fairly quiet. Russell, other than his own personal stuff, which I really am not going to talk about because that's neither here nor there, and it's not really for me to discuss. It's been kind of quiet on the Doctor Who front as of late. I think they're kind of trying to hold back on the 60th news and give Jodie her final chance to shine, whatever, for her last hurrah. So we will see how that pans out in October. But if any of you have the opportunity to watch that first episode of The Inside Man, please give us the deets. Let us know how it turns out. Aside from that, not much else on the Good Omens front either. People keep asking Neil consistently if there's a trailer, a premiere date, and all Neil has said is next year. So, and Neil's not one to be pushed. So, if he says next year, he means it. So, that is all I can say about that. I know filming's over. Been over since, like, March. So, yeah. Apart from that, there's really not much else to tell. Yeah, so, probably the next time you see me video-wise will likely be for the Centenary Special. Oh, and don't forget, please do look for me, on the Type 40 podcast. I did an episode with MCTV on Twitter. I think he already aired it. But if you haven't heard it yet, go ahead and give it a listen. He's a cool guy, cool cat. And you know me, I always enjoy talking about Doctor Who and fandom and such. So go ahead and give him a thumbs up and a like and a follow if you see him on the Twit. And that's pretty much it for me. It's hard to say anything when it's over the summer and all the shows are off. So I will see you guys when I see you. Hopefully, I have a feeling we'll probably get more trailers and more information regarding the Centenary probably September. They need to do something. If they don't advertise a little, more, they're not going to have anybody watching. And they really have not advertised hardly any at all. And this is a huge episode for them. It's the end of their era. The Doctor is regenerating and they haven't done shit. But then, are we really surprised? I mean, it's Chibnall. And with all the problems going on at the BBC right now, I can't say that I'm surprised. Anyway, I will see you guys hopefully soon. Thanks for listening, and don't forget, like, share, subscribe.
Good night.